Hello everyone, welcome to our world through English. So today we are going to start our second unit on a special theme that we are going to discuss in this today's class, that is about social issues. Social issues. So what is the meaning of social issues? What is the meaning of issue? We know issue means a clash, a problem, or a quarreling or fight, or something which was disturbing the society. So what is social? Social. Social means social subject, right? No. So social means nothing but society. So what is society? What is society? Society is nothing but people. And who are the people? We are the people. And simple, I. So we are the integral part of the society. We are all the part of society. And what is social issue means the problems which are related to society. So some of the problems we can understand: child labor, and women harassment, poverty, unemployment, abusements. These are all social issues. So now we have a great theme for you as Unit 2, that is social issues. Now the word here mentioned under that, home is the happiest place in the world. Home is the happiest place in the world. So what it means? Why home is so happiest place in the world? Why the writer written such a word? Home is the happiest place. For example, when you're in the school, hostel, or some other place far from the home, you will wait when I will go home, when the holidays will come. So I will go back to school, home, and I will be with my parents, and I will enjoy the home atmosphere. So home is the happiest place because no problems, no worries, father, mother's love, affection, sibling fightings. So home is the best place for us to enjoy, to rest, to show, to get love. So now in this society we have a lot of issues which are going on in our society, like unemployment, poverty, and child labor, child marriages, women harassments, domestic violence. These are all major issues. We have many issues, but what I explained you are 6 major issues in our Indian society. But are we aware of these things? Do you know about all these things? Many small minor girls who are studying as like you, the class 8, they are getting marriages. Do you know that? And who are age of your 13 to 12 years, they are on the roads working like laborers. Have you seen them? On the roads, in factories, or at restaurants. You have seen many small kids who were like you, less than you. They are started working in the companies, factories, in apartments, somewhere else. Or have you seen that? You have seen. Why? What made them? Poverty. Poverty made them to work there. A student at age of 15 years, they should be in the school, but they are in the companies, they are in the factories, they are on the road, they are in the hotels, they are in the restaurants. Poverty made them to be like that. That is a social issue. So now this special unit for you to understand a beautiful theme, social issues, especially as a student, it is your best time to wake up. Till now you thought, I was very happy, I'm studying in the school, I was watching all these things. But as like you, same age boy, girl, they are not behaving, they are not having all the things what you're having. They are not having all the things what you're having. What made them to be like that? Are they not born to be happy in this world? With their homes, roaming on the roads, beggars, vagabonds, and roadside people who are on the roads. Many were there. But you are so lucky. But when you are in this position, you have to remain that. And you have to work for the people who are not having homes. You have to work for the people who are not having jobs. You have to work for the people who are not having anything in their lives. So try to help them. Lift your hands, support them, join, help. So that was the introduction of this social issues. Now I'm going to the lesson 2A, that is called Oliver Asked for More. This was a beautiful novel which was written by Charles Dickens, and that is Oliver Twist. And Charles Dickens was very, very famous a novelist, and he written many novels like Great Expectations, and he's from English, a British novelist, and he was a wonderful novels he did, like Oliver Twist. Now the present lesson, small part of Oliver Twist. You can watch the movie also available on YouTube. You can watch that also. Next, Oliver Twist and Great Expectations. What a beautiful novel about a small kid and a relation with a prisoner, and a wonderful story like Great Expectation, which filled with many expectations. We will expect, for example, when you're watching any movie or any serial, we will expect the next scene, but it was quite opposite. What you expect, it won't happen there when you're watching some scenes of Great Expectations. Every page we have different twists, and like and Bleak House, wonderful, a tale of two cities, and David Copperfield, a wonderful one. David Copperfield, which was written by Charles Dickens, was a beautiful novel about social issues, and that was a beautiful book which inspired many people. That many people thought that David Copperfield like a holy book, because it gives them a lot of inspiration, who are alone, who are not having anything, when they're reading the lines of Charles Dickens, the David Copperfield, wonderful inspiration they will get. Such a beautiful novels which was written by Charles Dickens. And the present Oliver Asks for More was also an extract from his novel called Oliver Twist, and that was in the story. Entire story moves around one small character, that is his name is Oliver. His name is Oliver. He is an orphan boy named Oliver, who brought to the children home. So now the scene starts. So what the story means, Oliver was an orphan, and he lost his father and everybody, and he comes to a children's home. He was in a child home, means orphanage home. So there the scene will begin. And what happens in the orphanage, how Oliver twists, given twists for them, and how Oliver lives in that orphanage home, and that conditions. You can watch the movie, then you can enjoy a lot of fun which was made by Oliver in the scenes. So let's go for the lesson. Mr. Bumble, number one character. Mr. Bumble is the first character, and he is, we can call him orphanage manners. I mean, who can take care of the children, and who is the major character we can discuss about in the story, Mr. Bumble. So Mr. Bumble walked on with long strides, and little Oliver, firmly grasping his gold lace cuff, trotted beside him. So now when the scene starts, here what happened, Mr. Bumble, and following by Mr. Bumble will walk like this, and Oliver with grasping his gold lace cuff trotted beside him. So he was very silently following Mr. Bumble. So Oliver had not been within the walls for the workhouse a quarter of an hour when Mr. Bumble informed him that the board had said he was to appear before it forthwith. So now Oliver was the new person to the orphanage home, to the home workhouse. There it is not just a orphanage home. There they used to teach them workhouse. They will teach them work at the same time. They will provide food and everything. So now he was there. He was there in the workhouse. We can't call them as a orphanage home because that is a workhouse. A workhouse means all the people will children, not people, small children, small children. So he comes there, and first time he was there, and Mr. Bumble was the person who was managing the workhouse, and he informed, hey Oliver, you have to be present in front of the board. A board means not this board. A board means a group of committee members, a group of members. Okay, so within a short time you are going to appear in front of the board. So there will be a big table and different chairs will be there, and Oliver is going to appear in front of the board. Now, not having a very clearly defined notion of what a live board was, Oliver was rather astonished by this information and was not quite certain whether he ought to laugh or cry. So now, Oliver doesn't know what the meaning of board as like you. I said no, board means not this board. A board means a group of members. So what he thought means he is going to appear before the board means Oliver got surprised. Astonished means surprise. Are what this man was saying, that his fat man was saying, and having big stomach man was saying that how to present in front of a board, what it means. And he was in a dilemma, and he don't know what to do, whether he was to laugh or to cry. And for the first time he was appearing in front of the board, and he don't know how he has to behave in front of them. So now he had no time to think about the matter. Mr. Bumble asked Oliver to follow him into a large whitewashed room where 8 or 10 fat gentlemen were sitting round a table. So now Mr. Bumble said the information and immediately said, hey, come, it's your time, you have to present before the board. Then immediately he was in a big problematic situation. He don't know how to behave, and he not even given a time. Immediately Bumble took Oliver to a large big white room, washed room. You can understand why they mention specially washed. Only that room was washed, meaning no washing, nothing. It was the dirty things. So washed room, and there 8 to 10 fat gentlemen were sitting, and they were waiting for Oliver. Then at the top of the table, seated in an armchair, rather than the rest, was a particularly fat gentleman with a very round red face. So now there were nearly 10 members, and middle of them there was an upper chair, means just seated up like a tall little bit up chair. That means remaining all normal members, and he is the head of the board. So he was very tall, means having height seat and all, and having a red face, and everybody was quiet, and everybody was clearly observing the boy who was in front of them. He is none other than Oliver. Oliver. Bow to the head, bow to the board, said Bumble. And immediately when he presented before the board, Bumble said, hey, bow your head, bow to the board. Means you have to bend before the board. Means it is just salutation, saying that, wishing. Bow to the board, said Mr. Bumble. Oliver brushed away 2 or 3 tears that were lingering in his eyes, and seeing no board but the table, bowed to that. So what means Oliver till now he doesn't know what is the meaning of board. I said that board means not this board, it is a group of members. So then immediately he was there, and immediately Bumble said, hey, bow to the board. Then Oliver Twist was crying because there was no board. Only I can see what? Tables I can see, and chairs I can see, and men I can see. I can't see the board. So he started crying, and he just, okay, no board, at least I will bow to this bench. So he bowed to the bench. What's your name, boy? Said the gentleman in the high chair. So the man who was sitting in the middle on the top, he shouted with a voice, hey, what is your name, boy? What is your name, boy? Then the boy was responding. Oliver was frightened at the sight of so many gentlemen, which made him tremble. So when he heard the voice from the high chair, and all they were seriously looking at Mr. Oliver. Then Oliver was frightened because he had never seen such a man of group of men sitting on the chairs and having fat bodies, and he was worried, he was frightened, and he started crying. he started crying. And the beadle gave him, means a stick, gave him a tap on his back with his cane, which made Oliver to cry. Then immediately he was not responding. He said, "Hey, what's your name, boy?" And he was worrying, and he was crying, and he was worried. He was worried. At the time, he got his cane from the Mr. Bumble. Then immediately, he started crying. I like you how you will cry. He started crying. Then, "Boy," said the gentleman in the high chair, "listen to me. You know you are an orphan, I suppose." Then immediately, the boy was again received a question from the child. That is, "Boy, a boy," said the gentleman in the high chair, saying that, "listen to me. Look at me. When you're crying, look at me clearly. Listen to me. You are an orphan, I suppose. Hey, do you know you are an orphan boy? Am I right? You don't have father, you don't have mother, you have no one. So you are an orphan, I suppose, right?" Then, "What is it, sir?" inquired poor Oliver. Then immediately Oliver doesn't know what the meaning of orphan, a small boy, how he knows orphan means. Then he's saying that, "Sir, what you mean? I don't know what you're asking. I don't know what you're saying that. The boy is a fool. I thought he was," said the gentleman in the white waistcoat. Then immediately who was sitting in the chair said, "He's a fool, I think so. He don't know what he means. He doesn't know what orphan means. He's a fool. He's looking like a fool." Then who are sitting in the chair, they are discussing, maybe he's a fool. He seems to be a fool. I thought definitely he's a fool. So one and another talking about Oliver Twist. So shh, said the gentleman who had spoken first. Then who are discussing side, he said, "Shh, silence. Then, you have got no father or no mother, that where you were brought up by the parish, weren't you?" Then the man who was talking to Oliver again repeated the same question, but he given a little bit explanation about the where. And now he is not saying you are an orphan. He said, "Hey boy, look at me again. You have no father, and you have no mother. Now you are here because the parish brought you here." Parish means nothing but a church. Church had brought you here. Am I right? Am I right? He asked to the little boy. "Yes, sir," replied Oliver, weeping bitterly. So now, you know what Oliver was saying, that, "Hey, you have no father, you have no mother, so the church brought you here. Am I right?" Then Oliver was, when he said father was not there, mother was not there, he started, "Yes, sir, yes." So he started weeping bitterly. "What are you crying for?" inquired the gentleman in the white waistcoat, again saying, "Hey, why you are crying? Hey, don't. Hey, don't cry. Why you are crying? What made you to cry here? I hope so. I hope you say your prayers every night," said another gentleman in a gruff voice. Then another man was asking, actually there are church members, church committee, parish members. So they are saying that, "Hello, do you have a habit of saying prayers every night?" Said another man in the white coat, and pray for the people you feed you and take care of you like a Christian. So now he was saying that, "Hello, you don't forget to pray every night, and you have to pray for the people who is taking care of you." See how directly they are saying that. They are forcefully saying to the boy to pray for them because they are feeding you. So what this man was saying that, "Hello, you have to pray regularly, and what you should pray, you have to pray for the people who are helping you." So then the boy said, "Okay, yes, sir," stammered the boy. So he was saying that you are a Christian. You are a Christian boy, so you have to pray regularly. You have to pray for the people. You have to pray for yourself, and you have to pray for your people who are helping you. and to help many people you have to pray for them regularly. Then they said the question, then immediately he said, he stammering means what? Slowly, like yes sir, yes sir. So he stammered. Who? Oliver. Well, you have come to be educated and taught a useful trade, said the faced gentleman in the high chair. So then immediately he said, hello, Mr. Boy. So one after one was talking. One asked name, another asked, you don't have father, mother, another asking why you are crying for, another said you have to do prayers regularly, and another one asking one more question, that is, hello, Mr. Boy. Oliver, you are brought here for education. Here you will get education, at the same time education and thought for a useful trade. So along with the education, we will teach you useful trade. Trade means what? Like a business. For example, IT, electrician, fitter, mechanics, everything. What are the useful things for our regular life? So they will teach you the trade life, like ITI. We have trade business. In Indian Institute of Technology, like we have like that. We have ITI. IT means IIT. We have engineering. So now IIT. After 10th class, you will join ITI. So like that, a trade business also will be taught by the church members, like electrician, fitter, AC mechanic, and sweeping, and manufacturing of footwear, and something so small business they will teach you there. So that will help the boys who are studying there. That will help them to start a business after becoming an elder man. So that was the thing what the high chairman said to the boy. So you will begin to pick Occam tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, added the surly one in the weight course. So Occam means nothing but a food which they were giving, a loose fiber. What the meaning of Occam means? A loose fiber obtained by untwisting the picking apart of old rope. So he will receive an Occam. Okay, Occam. So he has to untwist that, and that will from tomorrow 6 o'clock you will get added surely, seriously in the weight course. So that was his starting day of work in that children home. So Oliver bowed low, directed by the bearded, and then hurried away to a large ward where on a rough, hard bed he sobbed himself to sleep. So next he went back to his room. That was a large ward and very hard bed. No smooth, very hard bed. On the hard bed, he sobbed himself to sleep. Sob means what? Crying aloud, crying. So slowly, if you observe children, children will cry for some time. So they will cry. In crying only they will sleep. So same like that, Oliver started crying. He cried, and he slept. Next, poor Oliver, as he lay sleeping, unconscious of everything around him, the bird has taken a decision that would change the course of his life. Then immediately he went back and he was sleeping there in the room. But after that, the board has decided something very, very important for the life of Oliver Twist, and that changed, that given a great twist in the life of Oliver. So what the board has decided, let us see here. The members of this board were very wise and philosophical men. As they turned their attention towards the workhouse, they discovered that it was a regular place of public entertainment for the poor classes. It was the place where they had breakfast, dinner, tea, and supper all the year round and free, where it was all play and no work. This was really a shocking state of affairs. They were of the opinion that the poor should be given only two alternatives, either to starve quickly outside the workhouse or gradually inside the house. With this view, they decided that the inmates of the workhouse would be issued 3 meals of thin gruel a day with an onion twice a week. So now here the thing, what is happening in the home, children's home, was clearly mentioned. So where here we are going to see that situation, what is the condition of the workhouse or a children home. There the board contains very, very wise men and philosophical men, and the philosophical men were turned and looking at the workhouse. What is happening in the workhouse or the children home? There they are concentrating on the poor people who are not having father and mother, and they are bringing back to the home, and there they are teaching the trade business along with education. There where it was all play and no work. But here it was what they will give, they will provide meals, morning breakfast, dinner and tea and supper all over the year for free, where it is common in the children home. But here it was really shocking state of affairs. There were the opinion that the poor should have only 2 options. What are the 2 options? Means they have to starve outside. Starve means what? Without food, they have to be at the outside of that workhouse, or gradually inside the house. One is outside without food, or inside with food and working in the home. So that is only the 2 options for any poor classes who are not having father and mother who brought to the parish by the workhouse. Within this view, they decided that inmates of the workhouse would be issued 3 meals of a thin gruel a day with an onion twice a week. So what is their food habit, or what is their meal in that workhouse? Means 3 meals on a thin gruel, means a bowl or vessel, a thin one, very, very thin one in the vessel, and onion twice a week. Wow, twice a week onion. So now that was the food habits what Oliver Twist was having and going to have from the next day in the workhouse. And that was the end of today's session. I hope that you have been enjoyed a lot. Meet you in the next session with continuation. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Until then, take care and bye-bye.